Hello, awesome viewers. Welcome to AC Studio. Today, I'm officially announcing my latest scratch build project, and it is the Death Guard Foetid Bloat-drone in 1:18 scale. And this is my 7th 1:18 scale scratch build project. And one of the reasons I decided to make a Death Guard project is because of the recent releases from Joytoy. Because, as you already know, their Death Guard action figures are extremely well made, and I really like them. In my opinion, they are one of the best armies they have produced so far. Seeing these figures really inspired me to build something for the Death Guard, and I also want to expand my collection. And if you collect Death Guards, you already know that Joytoy has mostly released infantry. I want to add a vehicle or a demon engine, to the army, and that's why I decided to build the drone. And if you follow this channel, you already know that my previous project was the Necron's Cantopic Spider, and this build had a mechanical organic design. If you haven't watched my review video, please take a look. Considering my works are not 3D print but handcraft, so this required more complicated process to get things done, because everything is custom made scratch build using nothing but mountboard and paperboard. And this spider required articulation design, especially for the legs, so it is very difficult on its own. It is technically an action figure, really, but this drone is different. Technically speaking, when it comes to articulation, it is easier because it doesn't have much articulation except for the hover fan, and I don't think anything more than that, right? But the project is challenging in a different way, and these challenges comes from is chaotic geometry and organic shape. And you see at the back, all these are very organic, which is very different from what I used to do on the Cantopic Spider or my Land Raider, or my Land Speeder. So this design is kind of like half organic and half armored, kind of like an engine. Also, as you can see, the armor plates come in layers, irregular in shape. So this required a lot of visual judgment to put it together. And since I'm not using 3D print, this is all handcraft. So this kind of like geometry and shape and use of materials, really a new territory for me. When it comes to scratch building, everybody will just go to 3D print straight away, right? And even 3D print, I'm quite sure people will find it really hard to do this anyway, right? Another difference is the materials that I'm using. In most of my previous scratch builds, I mainly use paperboard and mountboard. And you can see this is a paperboard and this is like 2mm mountboard. For this project, I'm actually using several different materials that I never used before. In fact, I actually used the bottom part of a Gundam packaging box to do the armor plates. So what I mean by that is, for example, like this is a Gundam, and I actually use this very thin cardboard to do the armor plating. So you can see here, this is exactly the same material. Honestly, I don't know why I'm actually using it, maybe because it doesn't cost me anything. And I use the foam board to build the frame of the body, and use just packing paper to fill the structure and create the core shape of the torso. After that, I use the air dried clay, which is the pink color surface that you see here. So this is the air dried clay that I use, which is from Daisho, like a $2 shop, kind of like from Japan. And I use this clay to sculpt and refine the shapes here, right? I am becoming more familiar with this clay because I actually used it in my Gundam diorama project last year. If you look at my bio, I'm actually a model maker. I actually make a lot of different things, Gundam, scratch build dioramas. So 1:18 scale Warhammer, action figure or vehicles is just part of what I do. I actually do more than that. Anyway, this clay is very cheap, costing around $3 Australian. It is also very lightweight, and that is why I love to use this, right? But it is actually very hard to control. It is not the right material to make very detailed shape, just like this. I struggle doing that. This is very hard to control. You should use polymer clay or other kind of clay, but not an air dry clay for kids. So I won't use this for detailed sculpt next time. Anyway, in this video, I'll quickly show you where I'm up to at the moment. So you can see the whole body shape is done. So let me pull this off. So you can see this whole body shape is pretty much done, except some of the details here. And you can see I already put the rivets or the bolts onto the detail. And this bolt and rivets actually nothing but this kind of stuff. So these just, you know, blink, pearl, you know, and kind of like, you know, beads or whatever it's called, and all this red and green. So one is paint, they will be the same color, the Death Guard green color. And you see these spikes on the armor plate here. So this armor plate is made of, you know, 2mm mountboard, which I use all the time for, you know, for example, mechanical spider. And of course, this is my first experience of using, you know, this kind of material. By accident, found out that you can actually sculpt this paper, all these, you know, battle damages. I actually put water onto the cardboard and soften it up before I actually use a pen or tube of the pen to kind of like punch into it, right? To make bullet hole damages or craters. So that is a bit of a surprise. Yeah, and it works pretty well. Look at it. So I actually figured out new methods of actually sculpting paper. And you can see this broken part here. I'm going to put the eyelens here. And you can see the tentacles, you know, which I made out of this again. To be honest, it's actually a little bit tricky to do, but it is end up kind of okay. I think it's okay once I paint it, right? Then it looks better. Anyway, and then I actually use, you know, the aluminum fixable pipes to do, you know, pipes on it. But I still need to find out how to do the pipes, which are the organic pipes to the whole body. You know, there are actual organic pipes linking there to the body. Yep, and I still haven't able to find out what way to do it. And also I've already made the fins inside this hover, you know, fan here. So it will be something like this. So like that. So yep, I'm just waiting to paint the inside of the fan before I put this in there, right? So that is how it looks like. Yep, so looking really nice. Also, I've already done some spikes using, again, you know, the you know, clay, and put it in there, right? So it'll be something like that. So yep, and once again I need to paint this, you know, white and with a bit of brown wash on it, something like that. And the next thing I need to do is put, you know, having the weapons on the hands and also all the pipes coming out from the nose. So that will take a while because I try to figure out how to do them as well. So anyway, now comes to the end of this video, and if you can please give me a little bit of support by giving a like to this video. And this is not easy work. So far you can see no one ever attempt in doing this drone. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you like it, and I will speak to you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.